Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the location of the 7 different cakes spread out across the map, which happen to unlock a pretty neat title if you find them all. So I will say, if you were looking to do this organically, definitely don't watch this video. And all the information has come from rarethief.com, I'll have them linked down below. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. And it kind of depends which two you do first, because they're kind of grouped in twos around the map. Depends on the outpost you spawn at. So since we spawned at Ancient Spire, we're going to start with Devil's Ridge and Thieves Haven. However, watch the video, and wherever you end up spawning when you start with those two, and just maybe watch the video in reverse order, but we're going to go to Devil's Ridge to kick things off. And I do want to warn that doing this in safer seas does not work, as I did try prior to this, and the cake was just not there. So just thought I'd save you guys a little time before you went ahead and tried to do this in safer seas if that was your idea. But I'm going to go ahead and sail over there, and I will see you guys when we get there. Okay, and we are pulling in just on the north side. It doesn't matter so much where you pull in. We do want to go in right around here, because this is about where the location of the cake is, but in the cave. So we'll see you when we get in there. Or I guess I'll show you sort of the path I am taking. So our boat's parked there. I believe there is an entrance to this waterfall area up over here. So just one more time, we are on the northern side of the island, as you remember where we parked. If we run inside this secret entrance here, I'm going to try and keep the clip running for the entire time. You're going to run right by that guy on the swinging log, and you're going to keep running. Keep running. What I did was I took a right here, but you probably could go straight. And from the right, we can see the boar shrine right here, and it's going to have our first piece of cake. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. Someone left a note, and we'll close it. And there's our first piece of cake. And as you can see, but wait, what's this? We have 1 out of 7, so we're going to go ahead and move on to Thieves Haven. So I will see you guys when we get there. And I do encourage that if you come across other pirates doing the same thing as you, maybe just for this one time, let's be friendly. And we could even help each other out if they're struggling a little bit. However, for this next one, we actually probably want to go up on that ledge right up there. So we're going to park around the south side of the island. I'm going to start raising up my sail, because we actually want to go right here. There's 3 heads right here, and that's where we want to be. So we're going to see if I can get lucky enough with my cannon angle to get me up there. So we'll cross our fingers and hope as I fly out of the cannon. That is definitely not high enough. We'll go for a try number 2 here and hope that this one is high enough. And fingers crossed, it looks like that did get us where we needed to go. And so from the south side, we're pretty much just on the very top of the island. You'll see these 3 heads right here. They're kind of near the waterfall. If you come up on top of it, there's the middle section. And over on the south are these 3 heads. And we can already see what's on top of there for us. And what I've done is I kind of just jumped from these barrels onto here, and that should allow us to get all the way up on top of the heads. We'll inspect it, go ahead and read through. And I do recommend you going through to events, clicking on special events, the anniversary weekend, and going all the way to the cake thing, and just make sure it's tracking for you right there. And as you can see, we're at 2 out of 7, so we're going to move on. And then next 2 we're moving on to are actually at Sanctuary Outpost and Lone Cove. So we're going to do a little trick to get to Sanctuary Outpost. We're actually going to dive to a tall tale. That tall tale being Wild Rose, so we're going to start and dive to location, and this will actually put us right at Sanctuary Outpost. So if you were looking to save some time while sailing, here you go. So I will see you guys once we get to Sanctuary. So as we pull into Sanctuary here, we can go ahead and vote to cancel this tall tale so it doesn't keep prompting us for the rest of our adventure. And we'll just sword lunge over to the dock, and this one is a very easy one to actually go ahead and grab, because you just have to run to that middle tavern area. So if you actually get lucky and spawn at Sanctuary Outpost, you'll be able to grab this one right when you wake up, because it should just be on the counter here right beside Tracy. And as you can see, inspect the cake. And once we've done that, as always, we're going to make sure that's gone ahead and tracked on our progress. And as you can see, we're at 3 of 7. So let's move on to the next one, which is at Lone Cove. And Lone Cove from Sanctuary is actually very close. We're just going to go straight northeast, and I will see you guys when we get there. And as we pull in here, we are pulling in on the west side, which if you started at Sanctuary is probably the same side you'll end up pulling up on. And it's actually pretty obvious where we have to go. It's just sort of right in the middle, right around there. So we're going to sword lunge off of the boat here, and we just have to run to the middle cemetery part. If you've ever been to Lone Cove, you'll know exactly what I'm thinking or talking about. However, for those of you that perhaps haven't, we're just heading right through this gate over here, and now we have to find a way to get up top here. Which there are a few ways you could probably think of to get yourself up there. However, I am going to take an easy route of doing it. In fact, this is probably the hardest one to get. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab a grapple gun. And with our grapple gun, we're going to see if this can just put us right up on top here. Because as you can see, the cake is right there. And I think actually your best way of doing it is hopping on this rock here and aiming above the cake. And as you can see, it almost launched us on top. So we just have to aim a little bit higher here. And if we do maybe one of those, oh, it's so close. I am going to try something a little bit different here, and perhaps unorthodox. And we're going to turn the boat so that we can cannon off in that direction. And we're going to make sure we aim just over top of where we're going to need to be going. And hopefully I'll be able to grapple on the top of this rock as we go by. And I was, but it didn't put me on top. We're going to try that one more time. Perhaps this is the way to be doing it. Okay, and just like that, we have finally done it. All it took was firing ourselves out of the cannon and grappling on top of this rock. Please, if there is an easier way of doing it, comment down below. However, we are just going to read through this. And then, of course, we're going to our pirate log, and we're going to make sure that this has tracked everything. And as always, it has. So now, for this part, we actually only have 3 left. However, they are pretty far from us at Lone Cove. One is at Fetcher's Rest, one is at Crooked Masts, and the other Sunken Grove. So to make this quicker for ourselves, depending on how long it's been, you can go ahead and just dive to an Ashen Pirate's treasure map, and this will at least put us in the Devil's Roar, making our lives a little easier. So I'll see you guys when we get to Fetcher's Rest, because we're just going to be diving to the Roar, and then I'll sail on over there. But hopefully you had no problem getting that really tough one. So as you can see, we're at Cinder Islet, so we're actually just going to go left, and we're lucky enough to get a very close spawn to Fetcher's Rest. And I think we actually got the really rare skeleton camp spawn of Molten Sands Fortress, which is not a skeleton camp I see pop up very often, so that's very cool. But if you want to go ahead and pull up on the west side of Fetcher's, it will make this go a little quicker for you. So I'll see you guys when we're there. Because where we need to go on Fetcher's Rest is right around this area right here. You see there's a little camp there. That's where we're going to be going to. So as we pull up here, it's probably going to be fastest for me to cannon off, but we're right at the dock, if you can see right there. So from the dock, it's not actually too far at all. We are just going to run around this corner here, and you'll see there's a little camp set up right around here. And on this camp, just right on the anvil, is the cake. So we're going to go ahead and inspect this and close that. And luckily, we got to this island when it's not erupting. And we'll go ahead and get back to our boat before we check progress. And as you can see, we're at 507, so just 2 left to go now, which is just going to be Crooked Mast straight west, and then Sunken Grove north of there. In my opinion, if you can get a Daggertooth or Galleon's Grave outpost to start this whole event, that is probably the best, because you can go from Sunken to Crooked to Fetcher's, and then dive to the Tall Tale that will bring you to either of these outposts, to Devil's Thieves Haven, and then dive to the Tall Tale I showed you to finish off at Sanctuary and Lone Cove. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be that big of a time difference. So I will see you guys when we get to Crooked Masts. Now, as we pull into Crooked Masts here, I do recommend parking on the south to southeast side, as that is where your cake is going to be located. And unfortunately, this is another one like Lone Cove, where we are going to need our grappling gun in order to reach it. So fingers crossed, it's not quite as hard. And I believe that is the rock right there on the southern side we have to get up to. So maybe if we grappling gun from here, and then maybe we can just go straight up here, and this might get us close. Nope, we'll take care of this guy first. There we go. Maybe if we come from this side right here, and that does the trick. So if you come to that camp on the south side, right around here, and park where I told you to, the cake should just be right here. So we're going to go ahead and inspect that. And now we'll go back to the boat and hopefully not break our legs as we fall here. And now from here, we're just going to go straight north to Sunken Grove. And this one is probably one of the easiest ones to find. So we will see you guys when we get there. And actually, while we're sailing over, is a good time to make sure that one did count. We should be at 6 out of 7 now. And we are, so just one last one. So we're pulling in on the southern side, as you can see right here, which is probably the perfect place you want to go ahead and pull in. And we're just going to sword lunge over. And we're actually going to want to make our way to the middle sunken part. So from where we just parked our boat, if we just keep going straight and follow the trail all the way to the middle, there is this sunken part, and we can actually just drop straight down on top of this tree and turn around, and the last piece of cake is going to be on this pile of skulls. So we're gonna go ahead and grab this, inspect the last piece of cake, and as you can see, we have a new title available. So let's go check out what that is. And that new title is Seeker of Sweet Treats, which I think is just an awesome title. And that's going to do it for today's video. If this video helped you out at all, or you've been enjoying the content, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, or even all three down below. Make sure you turn on those channel notifications to get notified every time I post a useful guide or video. As always, we'll see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace!